Welcome back. I'm talking to Steve Buschor, and Steve is the director of Roanoke Parks and Recreation. And Steve, we're here at the newly renovated Elmwood Park. I want you to tell us about this park. First, talk about the timeline for the project.
Well, again, when we first designed this park, we, knowing the changes that were about to take place, we estimated a completion time from start to finish somewhere between 10 and 12 months. Okay. And we finished exactly 2 days, less than a year. So we were within that window. Yeah. Obviously, we ran into a little bit of weather along the way, and we had to make some concessions for that. But the ribbon cutting was, I believe, done on October 19th, and I think we had the notice to proceed almost exactly a year prior to that.
That's close. Well, what was the cost involved?
The overall cost of the improvements that were done here is just over $7 million.
Wow. And why did we want to renovate this park? I mean, what was the idea behind that?
Well, I think that Elmwood has always had a significant impact on our downtown. This is where we held most of our festivals and fundraisers for our nonprofits, plus, you know, for those named acts that came to town. And again, it was a decision to be changing the park into a more usable for those purposes, but also usable for an everyday thing. Right. I think that the park not only is a signature park for events, but it is becoming, and it has become, a signature park for daily use. We hope to see a lot of people coming into the park using it for having their lunch, having some afternoon during the week type activities, maybe some entertainment, some things that, so it becomes a very, very active part of our downtown.
Well, and you say downtown, I know I can see from here, I can see the market building. It's really connected to our downtown area, isn't it? That
was a primary goal of the project, was to make sure that the architectural design lent itself to being connected to the downtown, whereas in previous years, the old Elmwood Park was kind of disconnected. People would walk down from the market and stop at Franklin and kind of look around and say, okay, which way do I go to Elmwood Park? Now there's a beautiful gateway that welcomes them to the park. And again, that's what, you know, we had a wonderfully participatory process. We had, you know, literally thousands of comments, hundreds of people involved in the decision making, making suggestions, making recommendations, and the really neat thing about the success of the project is based on all of that input. People wanted it connected to downtown. They wanted it to be more of a prominent feature in our downtown, and I think that the design has really lent itself to doing just that. And we had an opening ceremony on October the 19th. You mentioned that. Talk about that a little bit. Well, what it was an opening ribbon cutting along with a culmination of our Parks and Arts program, which was an NEA endowed program that we had taken arts into the various different neighborhoods, and we thought, what a wonderful way to close this Park and Arts series is by having it here in Elmwood Park on the very day that we cut the ribbon. So in the morning or early afternoon, we went through the ribbon cutting process and had a number of speakers. The mayor and members of council attended, and we had about 1,500 people in attendance in the public, and it was incredibly, I think a lot of people they were anxious to see what the park looked like, and we had a lot of folks show up, and that was great. And then we evolved into the Park and Arts program, and I know that we have been trying for a number of years to have a venue, have a place where our local Roanoke Symphony could perform, and the featured key beginning inaugural act, as we say, was the symphony and the Roanoke Valley Ballet performing Peter and the Wolf. So it was a great day, beautiful day. We heard from a lot of people, a lot of good comments, positive comments, a lot of well-wishers wished us well, and it was an exciting day. Great. Well, will you show us some of the features of the park? I'd be delighted. Okay. There are a number of key features, elements that we've included in the design. There is a fountain walkway, as well as an art walk, which was the former Bullitt Avenue. And then obviously we've got some improvements to the south side of the park where we've created some outdoor rooms with the use of a number of landscaping plans and designs and plants. But the central feature obviously is the amphitheater. The amphitheater is a state-of-the-art place with great sound, playground, great amenities to be able to support any types of activities that come our way, whether it be a local house band or a larger regional act. It sounds great. I think if you attended the opening ceremony and heard the symphony, it was incredible, the sound that was coming out of it. But not only that, the park was designed in a way where it deals with our environment. It harvests rainwater from the amphitheater. Also, the Bullitt Avenue Art Walk is a completely impervious surface where all of that water is channeled into a 15,000-gallon cistern. That cistern then supplies water to our irrigation system. So the entire park is irrigated with its own rainwater, so that we're not, we don't have a large water bill at the end of the month.
That's very impressive.
Very impressive and very strategic in the way we've planned this, so that we wanted to make sure that this park itself was very environmentally aware and use those natural resources that are made available to us to be able to irrigate the grass plants and landscaping that we have in the park.
And I noticed that the seating is sort of flexible. You can probably put seats in, or you can just sit on the ground, or...
Absolutely. What we hope to do is that, there are going to be events where there will be ticketed and assigned seating. We're in the process of procuring some folding chairs where we can put approximately 2,000 folks down here in the amphitheater bowl. Those seats can be set up. We can have those smaller events. One of the things, the design that we came up with was to accommodate events of all sizes. This amphitheater has a capacity of nearly 5,000, probably in the neighborhood of 4,500 to 4,800 folks. So what happens is that we also have those small recitals where there's just 100 or so people or 200 people. We've designed it so that we can kind of condense that down to make it more of a compact seating, so you don't feel like you're in the middle of a very, very large area when you're hosting your small event. So it's practical to be used in a number of different applications.
Great. Well, do you want to maybe walk over to the fountain area and show me the walkway for the fountain?
Sure, follow me.
All right. Steve, tell us about the fountain walkway.
The fountain walkway actually is, we did everything we could to preserve the original design of the fountain walkway, because it was a kind of a iconic part of the park for many, many years. As you can see, the adult magnolias along here are just incredibly beautiful. We wanted to add some features to the walkway that allowed us to be able to better serve some of our vendors. On the back of the actual bollards that are along the side that provide light during the evening hours are utility hookups, both gray water, regular water, and electricity, so that we have those that infrastructure in place. But the feature that we all like the most is the computerized fountains. The computerized, the 7 fountains down the middle are computerized. They have different colors, and also the jet streams can be programmed, and then there's a number of different color availability for those particular fountains, which make them just very, very attractive, especially in the evening hours when people are walking down through here. The area has always suffered from low lighting, and we've actually added a lot of great light to this particular area, so that people, as they're coming through the park in the evening hours, feel safe to be here. So yeah, we're excited. This is just one of the fountains, the 7 fountains that go along here, but there's also fountains in front of the amphitheater which are interactive fountains that have some of the same capabilities and properties that these fountains do. You can change the lighting colors, the lighting patterns, the different lighting effects, but you can also change the computerized firing patterns of those particular fountains, which makes it a fun and exciting place to visit. Very first day when we opened up the park and the fountains, we had little kids running through them, and that's exactly what we were striving for, is to have an interactive fountain for not only kids, but for adults too. Of course, I was in there playing.
I'm sure you were.
Yes.
Steve, talk about how this park, this newly renovated park, is going to enhance our downtown and make it more vibrant and alive.
Well, I think in addition to having more green space in the downtown area for our folks to enjoy, whether it be people working down here at lunchtime or the events or whatever is planned for this particular venue, I think it's going to have a dramatic impact on future business development, and also for the things that we're wanting to do downtown. It'll be a significant and key central feature for our downtown, and that was the entire plan behind what we were hoping to do with this project.
So people will walk over from the market and
Absolutely. No, and again, I mean, we hope that companies decide that this is such a wonderful facet and feature to have in our downtown that they decide to relocate some of the vacant spaces that we have down here. Not only that, the impact to businesses and foundations and nonprofits being able to have their events in the park,
right.
keeping that money here
right.
and using it for the projects and programs that we need in our community.
If somebody wanted more information about the park, how can they get it?
Sure. If they are interested in finding out more about the park, we have a website that they can contact us at. There's some features actually about the park currently on our website at www.playroanoke.com, or they can contact the office at 853-2236.
Well, it's beautiful, and thank you for showing it to us.
My pleasure.
Okay, we'll be right back.